to you live from my Facebook page, Adventures and Coaching. And I wanted to talk to you today about a really inspirational story that contains, I thought, a lot of great lessons for setting and achieving big goals. It was an article that I read, and as I was reading this article, there were so many great things that jumped out at me that I wanted to share it with you. So last week, a huge record was made by a woman named Emily Harrington when, on her fourth attempt, she free climbed El Capitan in Yosemite National Park in under 24 hours. And while you may not know what this is, let me just say it's one of the most difficult climbs and has only been accomplished by four other climbers, all of whom were men. And so she is the first woman to accomplish this. And while I'm not a climber per se, it's certainly, I do a lot of hiking and have climbed some big mountains, but this is like rock climbing. So I'm not a climber per se, and I am super inspired by her and her accomplishment. But even more so, how she talked about her challenge and her goals, along with her resolve in the face of adversity. So, just some quick background. El Capitan is a 3,000 foot high granite face that draws like thousands of people every year to come to try to climb it. And on this particular route that Emily chose, it typically takes 4 to 6 days to reach the top of this particular route. So after reading the article, I pulled out a couple of quotes and about things that she talked about that I will I'll also post the article on my page, but I wanted to talk to you about a couple of the quotes that were really meaningful to me, and I really wanted to kind of break those down as to how those can apply to your life. So I'm going to read a couple of these quotes. First, she said, quote, "I never believed I could actually free climb El Cap in a day when I first set out the goal for myself. It didn't seem like a realistic objective for me. I didn't have the skills, the fitness, but I chose it for exactly that reason," unquote. And then she goes on to say, "Impossible dreams challenge us to rise above who we are now to see if we can become better versions of ourselves." So, wow. I mean, those were just like mind blowing quotes to me, in the face of this huge, huge, huge goal that she had. And I wanted to think a little bit further about it. So, she talks about her goals, and she kind of outlines them in this article about the things that she went through. So, she set a goal of how, she set this goal regardless of how realistic it was for her. She did it anyway. She found that maybe she wasn't, the right type of athlete. She maybe wasn't in the right kind of fitness to do it, but she set that goal anyways. So she continued to train and work toward it, even though, it seemed beyond her capabilities. And during the climb, actually, she had a couple of setbacks. She fell 2 times on a specific section, and one of those times she hit her head against the rocks, and she, gashed her forehead, and she was like bleeding everywhere. So you can imagine, as a climber, you need to have your hands there so that you can reach the rocks. And having that kind of blood on your face and your hands would have been really challenging. And not to mention that it rattled her. And she talks about how discouraged she was and that she really felt like quitting, but she found her resolve. She continued to think about that big goal that she had of reaching the top, and so she didn't let this accident and these falls psych her out or stop her from continuing. So even though she thought about it, she had that resolve to continue moving on. And she, also talks about enjoying the process, and that she really tried to stay present in each section. She says, quote, "I wanted to find my limit and exist in it and fight beyond it." So, I mean, I thought that was just so great that, she was pushing herself to the limit. And she knew that she was hitting that limit, but that she was continuing to fight beyond it and push herself further to reach that big goal. So, the next thing that well, not necessarily the next thing, but the other thing that I saw in the article was that she talked a lot about her team of support, and that she had a lot of people on the ground. She had people that, over, time leading up to the day that she actually climbed it, that she had a team of support, helping her get through that, through the training. And she had people, or one person in each, I guess one person for 2/3 of the climb and another through another third of the climb that was there to support her should she fall, that those ropes were actually there if she actually did fall, which she did twice. But she continued on. But those, how important it was that she had a group of people that she could trust and that she could lean on when she needed it. So I thought that was really amazing. And then finally, at the end of everything, she had so much gratitude for the process, for the rock, for the climb, all the people that supported her, whether she knows them or not. And just, she really celebrated that success. And I could tell, that she just had a tremendous amount of joy around achieving that goal. So, anyways, um, when you're really looking, I thought that this just wrapped up so well with, how to go about achieving those big goals that we might have. So when you're really looking at a bigger goal, or, maybe you're transitioning to something new or different that is going to be challenging, and oftentimes our goals do seem really challenging and out of reach, which is why we, often don't even bother trying. So I just thought this was fascinating to, try to incorporate these 5 things that helped Emily Harrington be successful. And that these 5 things are really the secret sauce for any success. So, those 5 goals again were, 1, have a stretch goal, even if it seems unrealistic. 2, having resolve in the face of a setback. And 3, having a great team of support. Who is your team? Can you have somebody that you're accountable to? Who do you bring around you? When you have a big goal and a desire to achieve something, it's really important to have people that you can call and say, like, hey, I'm having a really bad day, or I'm having a hard time with this. Help me talk this through. And having those people on your side. And sometimes, even the people that think about it in a different way that you don't necessarily agree with can be important as well, in the sense that they may keep you driving towards that goal, even further. If somebody is like, well, I don't know, I'm not sure you can do this, kind of a thing. Those kinds of people also, I'm not saying you should put them on your team, but when that crops up, be sure to, use that as fodder, as fuel to continue on. So, anyways, the 4th thing that came up out of that article and Emily's success was really to enjoy the process. And, how can you bring that into, into your goals and what you're working on? Think about like the fun you're having to getting toward that goal. So many people just sit there and say, well, I'm not going to be happy until I reach that goal. But how can you find enjoyment in that process? And, the 5th thing is really having gratitude. Have gratitude and be sure to celebrate, each success along the way. And that goes back to enjoying the process. So, finally, you don't really have to be Emily Harrington. Very few of us are. But we all have goals and things that, can seem out of reach for us. And, incorporating these 5 things, like I said, can really be that secret sauce to your success. So I hope you found this inspiring. And if you'd like to learn more about setting and achieving goals, I'd love to hear from you. So please reach out to me on Facebook here, or head over to my website at adventuresincoaching.com and check out the Work With Me page. So with that, thanks so much for listening and have a great day.